Hello, everybody. Welcome to Extra Time presented by N90 Minutes Podcast, episode 3. Really, the last week of preseason. After this weekend, it's officially match week for the season opener against New York Red Bull, which we'll preview next week. Probably get into it a little bit this week and really dive into it next week, depending on what you know about what we see with friendly on Saturday for season ticket members. Going to be really interesting. In my opinion, I know it's just a friendly, but be really interesting to see what what the team looks like, what they come out tactically looking like, starters look like. See if Poppy is going to play the young guys, including Zachariah Taifi potentially, academy product, homegrown product. Um, Possibly slated to start at a right back position, right wing back, depending on the formation Poppy decides to do. But Luke, how was started off? How was your week?
It was good. Um, Overall, it's it was just good. So I'm excited for the season to start. There's now 11 days, so let's get this ball rolling.
No,
Let's yeah,
gonna be a long one with that World Cup break,
I know.
starting in May. Um, May 23rd is our last match before mid July, and then it's like we have, I think it's 2 matches in July, and then Leagues Cup starts, which are not, they're doing it the way they did it last year again, where there's not really a break for the MLS regular season. Um, so let's kick it right off the bat. Kind of the what we've been talking about, and kind of the theme of this show. Formations, tactics. Diving a little deeper into those topics and such. Um, I have my ideas of it. Luke has his ideas of it. Let's hear what Luke, what do you want to see Saturday? A little more than what you said on the main show, if you are able to make it. What do you hope to see on Saturday?
I
You know,
just I just hope to see a kind of a glimpse of what this future of this team is gonna hold. I said it a little bit on the main show and the back end, but I really want to see our Brazilian players have their bit of personality about them. I want every player to have a bit of personality about them, of course, but I feel like that Brazilian style needs to come out. It needs to flash. It's like sometimes these Brazilian players have these moments of brilliance that they can take again. I've said this in the main show. Take the game by the scruff of their neck and just produce absolute beautiful football like historic Brazil has. So that's what I really, really want to see from it is just not necessarily a complete team because of course it's so early and we're still bringing players in and we're still trying to find who's the best fit for where, but just seeing individual performances where I'm like, okay, I'm confident in this player, or okay, this player is not going to fit. So yeah, that's what I really want to see. I'm not expecting the complete package.
yeah. I'm not expecting to see a complete package. I mean, I want to see you know, biggest thing I want to see is a change in mentality. Something more, progressive and pragmatic. Something where we're constantly on the front foot. Handle possession, but it's possession with pressure on the other team, not just our, two center backs and defensive midfielder knocking it around the midfield line, or a lot of matches last year knocking it around in our own half. I feel like this year we brought in players to do that with Brian Ojeda in the midfield. Particularly, I think he'll be a step up from what Atuesta brought us. Defensively, he's a little bit better than Atuesta. Um, we'll see what he brings. I kind of anticipate Atuesta to start. early, and then Brian to kind of take over the starting role late, as the season goes on, type of deal. Um, but you know, I also want to see kind of a change in formation. For those watching, this will really benefit you guys that are watching it, because I do have some graphics to pull up with our formation, and I'll do my best
Explain it to the audio.
to explain it to the audience that's listening, um, to really let you guys know what's going on. So I would love, for basically the way the roster shaped up right now. Goalie, still a toss in the air. I don't think it matters really who we have in goal. I feel like both have their kind of opposite strengths, and opposite weaknesses. Um, I'd love to see Otero start. I've always loved a lengthy goalkeeper, a tall goalkeeper, and being 6'6", he definitely gives you that. But our starting formation would be a version of a 3-5-2 with holding midfielder, a box to box, and attacking midfielder. Basically, the with Janssen being out, the starters for this in the defense would be Iago as the left center back, Miller as the center back, and Brekalo as the right center back. Luke and I talked about it before we started recording. I was really caught up. Usually, you want your most solid center back to be in the middle, which with our current lineup would be Brekalo. But the issue with putting Brekalo centrally is you have Cartagena right in front of him, and you wouldn't be able to take advantage of the forward runs that Brekalo can do with the ball. Um, so that's what that looks like. The sixth spot, the holding midfielder Cartagena. Hopefully he's healthy. If he's not healthy, I think it'll be the Brazilian. I would like to see it be the Brazilian defensive midfielder that we have, holding midfielder or whatever. I use both interchangeably; they mean the same thing to me. Um, Kind of midfielders slash wingbacks in this formation. I like to see more of a midfield than a wingback. Would be Spicer and Taifi. Obviously, Taifi in the past has played more fullback, but he's also played in the middle of the pitch as a midfielder. Has really good attacking prowess. Can really get crosses in, beat defenders one on one. Seen it in OCB constantly. Um, so those will be your two midfielders. Then the box to box will be Brian Ojeda. I have him in over Tuesta. I feel like based on what I've seen on paper, he has a little bit more than Tuesta does defensively. Kind of with that, the caveat is he lacks a little bit in the attack that Atuesta does, but we just need him controlling the center of the pitch, stopping counters, breaking those lines, getting the ball to the midfielders, the outside midfielders, or the attackers. 10, the attacking midfielder, Martin Ojeda. Who else would it be? I guess you can make a case for Pasalic, but I like Pasalic to be kind of a free roamer on that right side, which I have him as one of the two strikers, free roaming on the right side. Kind of will set up in the attack more as a inverted right winger, which is his natural position. Um, and then Duncan is the starting forward. Then in the attack, when we're on the attacking end of the ball's in the opponent's half. It basically, be very much the same. The only difference is Ojeda and Pasalic were kind of a bracket. Maguire be more, like I said, of the inverted midfielders or inverted wingers still have the capability for them to free roam in the attack. I just feel like our attack, depending on the form Duncan's in, with Duncan and Paslich and Ojeda, I feel like they um, one of the top ones in the league potentially this year. Like I said, it depends on what form Duncan's in. If he's in his goal scoring form of a couple years ago, definitely one of the best attacks in the league. If Taifi comes in and he's on fire. We already know what Spicer can give us. We saw that instant impact when he'd come in the matches at the end of last season after we picked him up. Um, I really feel like this gives us options. And then Brian Ojeda stays centrally, again, playing that box to box role, picking up, that second ball that pops out. Cartagena stays a little more central. Playing that holding midfielder, anything that's over Brian Ojeda's head in the middle of the pitch, he picks up. And then the three center backs. I'll stop right there. That's a lot of information. What do you think of what I have written down as a mad amateur scientist? And if there's something you'd change, Luke, let's hear it.
I like it. I don't like well. It's like maybe it's a bit too forward when it comes to the attack. Basically, is like I don't know with the experience Taifi, the lack of first team experience. Maybe I wouldn't put him in that scenario. Will allow him to maybe wouldn't feel comfortable in those first few games, especially coming up against Red Bulls, who are a tough team, and Miami, who are even tougher team. You don't know. Maybe he might go his cautious way, and that is it. He might stick Taifi at fullback, and he won't play fullback, or maybe he won't play at all. For those two games, maybe he'll kind of just naturally integrate him into the team because it is a big jump, and he's not had a lot of experience when it comes to that. But the argument is, well, if not now, whenever, like whenever he's going to be brought in. It's just those two games are so vital because they're two tough teams, and I feel like there's other teams to integrate him into. I'm not saying you can't bring him off the bench and probably make an impact or so, but those two games against the home opener, and then the week after you've got Miami, those are just two games you have to win.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I have full confidence in Taifi probably doing it, but is it a big occasion and a big game and big pressure? Because this is a worrying time for us, and
Yeah.
a worrying time for the manager and the players. So is he going to take that risk into the season where his job is on the line? In the
The thing that I know where you're coming from, and I agree. When I was thinking about this over the weekend and earlier today, I hate saying it because I do value Taifi. I think he's a great prospect, has a
yeah,
very high ceiling. Um, but would you rather see him in that position, whether it's as a fullback or as a wingback slash midfielder, or would you rather see Angulo? Because that's the other
I'd rather see
people
him.
we're talking
I'd
about.
rather see Taifi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'd rather see Taifi because I feel like he's got a very smart head on his shoulders compared to Angulo. Taifi's he's coachable. He's definitely coachable. I don't think he's lacking. I just think he's lacking experience, unfortunately. And the only way to get experience is to, you know, get to that level. So, unfortunately, that's the point where you just you have to take that risk. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, I feel like Taifi is the best option out of the two.
Yeah, and I mean, I hate putting it like making it sound like it's just by default, but sometimes that's how
Well,
slow.
at the moment, that's where we are.
Yeah,
It is by default. So,
definitely. And then defensively, kind of self-explaining, and in my opinion.
Yeah.
that will fall back. The center backs are the center backs. The midfielders fall back into a defensive position, almost as fullbacks or wingbacks. Brian Ojeda falls back to assist Cartagena. Martin Ojeda falls back. It's kind of that first line break, and then Pasalic, falls back behind Duncan kind of naturally there, and then Duncan with his speed and strength, you want to challenge his center backs with
Exactly. Be a nuisance.
yeah,
Be a
be a
nuisance.
nuisance. He can outrun almost every center back in the league, and is right up there with strength. And if we want to go direct, which against Miami, we know they want to sit on the ball. So maybe you start Spicer and Taifi against Miami, more of a wing back.
Bring a lot more pace on the wings.
Yeah,
Get them running early. That's a good point, especially with Miami's team, who are a team full of pensioners.
yeah,
Uh, you want to get them. You want to get them running early. You want to, especially at home. So, um, I feel like with Miami, we could have a lot more front forward going, a lot more front forward with the what's going on. So, just take the game to them.
yeah. I mean
That
that.
that's the key.
Yeah, I mean that's
That's
the
the
thing that the one thing I don't like about that formation. To be devil's advocate to myself is those are only three center backs.
yeah. And you
But at the same time, what we don't really have many other options because it's we don't have a backup right back really. People are talking about Angulo being a right back, which I do not want to see. Um, you have Spicer who's played wing back. You have I can't even remember his name, the Spanish guy.
Spanish
Um,
Marin.
Marin, thank you. I was trying to find him on the team
Yeah.
roster. You have Marin, that can really that can play that left side. It's we're not in good shape to start the season. It's hard
We're
talking
not. And
talking about it, and it's. I don't want to blame Ricardo because it was the hand that was given to him, and he knew what he was biting off. And it's yes, it is partly on him, but it also has to do with when our main transfer window is in relation to most of the rest of the world.
but I think you're correct on that part. But I feel like it's just a shift of tempo, isn't it? It's a change.
Yeah,
You know. Well, look at half of our look at every single year we've entered the season. It's been exciting. It's like, oh my god, I can't wait for the season to start. So maybe it's a different change of pace, and maybe it's a different outcome. You know, maybe we go out and we're like, oh no, well, the season's starting, can't wait. Go out and we might play absolutely beautiful football. These Brazilians are doing mad things, and it's all great. Because we've gone into the season like last season, where we're like, can't wait for the season to start, and then we go and put out a performance like we normally do,
mm-hmm.
and
Absolutely.
it's like, so maybe the underwhelming factor, for us, the fans, um, and you can put your opinions below and in the comment section and whatever like that. Um, but for us, maybe that underwhelming feeling can actually just boost our expectations a little bit, and maybe we might go out and we might play amazing, or maybe we don't. We just don't know. But it's just a different switch of pace. I remember going into Orlando seasons always like excited to see what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
I just don't feel it this year because there's nothing to be excited about. But maybe they've been cooking something behind the scenes
Mm-hmm.
that will change my mind.
So yeah, interesting fact about this team that I never realized
Yeah.
is we only have two players under 5'9". We have a very
So it's a tall team.
yeah. We have a very tall team. The tallest being Otero. They have him listed at 6'5".
He's
I think he's pushing
six
6'6".
6'8", something like that.
He's
So,
6'6". He's not. He's not. I know he's not 6'8". I played basketball against guys
yeah,
6'8".
but
But
he's a tall. But hopefully that means a lot of corners,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
a lot of set
Which
pieces, a lot of corners.
what I've heard about this year, unfortunately, is we've given up a lot of most of the goals we've given up have been off set pieces.
Set pieces, yeah.
Um, that's a part of that is a lack of having center backs, center back depth.
Well, maybe it has something to do with the set piece coach.
Yeah, whoever's in charge of that possibly. Could also be most of our competition has been against, no offense to the competition, but lesser, just being honest, lesser competition. So the intent isn't there to clear the lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, tall team this year, athletic team. I mean, we have, the player. I'm really excited. I grew. When I really learned the sport was in high school. The coach that I had for my high school team, he played Division II soccer, really understood the game, and really preferred more of a Brazilian style of play. Not necessarily the not the fancy stuff, but as far as the ball movement and where you control the possession and how you know when you give the direct ball, when you don't give the direct ball, stuff like that. So that's really what I learned, and obviously when what's your first impression when you're learning a sport that can be as complicated tactically as soccer can be.
As well as that Brazilian brilliance of just individual play.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing I can say about our team is none of us ever felt like we were going to receive scrutiny for trying something, unless it was one of those where you know insanity things where you tried it multiple times and it just wasn't working. But I'm really excited to see what Otavio does. I'm really excited to see what Tiago does. And I'm really excited to see what Iago does, the center back.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you look at how, especially with, if I recall, it was Otavio and Iago, how the fan bases for those clubs reacted, and you got to think Iago comes from, arguably one of the biggest three clubs in Brazil.
It would be Palmeiras, Fluminense, and Flamengo.
Yeah.
Those three. Yeah.
And they were downright angry that he was sold for what he was sold for. Because I mean those guys, just like we do with Freeman getting sold and other guys in our academy getting sold, take pride in that. And unlike us, their pride is legitimately generational, you know. So it goes even deeper than our pride does sometimes. So it's just like I said on the main show. I'm so excited for the season to start, but I'm also dreading it because
it's a lot of we're emotional for the season
yeah.
to start. There's a lot of emotions behind it.
Yeah.
It's so unpredictable. It's a rogue. It's kind of a rogue off season. So.
Well, and like you were kind of alluding to earlier, we don't know. We're in a position where we don't know what to expect. The last since 22,
yeah,
we've basically had the same team, except for replacing a player here and a player there. And yes, most of our signings this year. I mean, two of our signings really have been to replace a player, and Crepeau and Iago. But you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, we have 5 additions to the senior team roster, Tiago, kind of alluded to it already. Brian Ojeda, Otavio, Miller, and Iago and Crepeau. So I'm sorry, 6 additions to the senior roster. If my depth chart is correct, I believe it is. Um, our only right back is an inexperienced homegrown. Again, Taifi, very high ceiling, very skilled player, just lack of senior team experience. If we go with the same Poppy system of the 4-3-3, our left back we have Marin, who was unimpressive in what in the time he got last year after the summer transfer window. And then we got Reed. I struggle saying his first name, but we have Reed Brown.
Harvey Saragin.
What's that?
Yeah, Harvey. The Harvey Saragin, the forward.
Yeah, well, we have him. I'm not including draft picks in this,
Okay.
but yeah, left back we have Reed Brown. Um, you know, center attacking mid, we really only have one player. We have a couple players that could play it. You could put a Tuesta there. You could put Ojeda there for if you want somebody with experience. Caraballo's played center attacking mid and in the academies. Um, so he has, you could say, experience playing the position, but not near the level of the senior team. Tiago probably could play a little bit of center attacking mid. Sukata doesn't look like an attacking mid, and Gulo definitely isn't an attacking mid, and Spicer doesn't look like an attacking mid. And then we have 2 strikers that, I'll include the draft pick in this one. We have the draft pick, Harvey, and then Duncan.
Maguire.
And if we get the Duncan of 2 years ago, 3 years ago at this point, awesome. If we get the Duncan of the last 2, there's going to be a lot of questions to be asked at the end of every match why we're not scoring.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I was looking back at the Open Cup final. I think there's only 3 players left from that team still in the team now. So
Let me see. Angulo. Let me see if I can do it without looking at my picture. Angulo, Janssen, and Cartagena.
yeah,
Because Otero technically was Taifi.
he wasn't in the squad
He had a Otero didn't sign his senior team contract until
because
later.
Mason was still in the squad.
Yeah.
Smith, Pereira, Cartagena, Michelle, Akindele, wow. Kara, then you've got Angulo, Urso, Adarujo, then you've got all those players.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows how fast in 3-4 years everything can change in football. Like there's only 2-3 players left in that squad that's still here. So it's kind of like a second team. So he's already had one. He's probably had 3 teams now. 3, 2.5, 2.5.
2.5.
Two and a
I feel like the first take out 2020 COVID year. I feel like the first 2 years was kind of building to the team we had, which isn't saying much because they were pretty awful.
Yeah.
Outside of winning the Open Cup, which I still say part of winning is luck. A lot of those matches against MLS clubs was a lot of luck because there was 3 of them went to penalties.
And we were all at home.
Penalties, and they were all every match we had was at home, and then the final we're against a club level below us, a division below us, which they put a goal in, and I remember them having a couple chances in the first half. They knock a goal in, that match completely changed that final.
Yeah,
it was pretty much a stalemate that first half. They were sitting deep, we were sitting deep, and eventually the team that had a little bit better athletes won because of the substitutions. Benji Michel came on, killed him with his speed. But yeah, I just
It just shows the changing of the guard, though.
hmm
It's like, has this third generation, third gen Oscar Pereira 3.0, to say, has it really progressed?
yeah. Well, wasn't real quick to back up? Wasn't Ojeda on that team? Because I thought he came on with Facundo. Did he come in the next year?
I have the team here. No, we haven't. We didn't sign Ojeda then. Ojeda was not in that team.
Okay.
It
Sorry, I didn't
was.
mean to cut
I
you
don't
off.
know. I don't know if it was. I don't know if he was in. We had Pereira still.
Yeah, I
He was.
just thought we signed him the same
I think
offseason.
we might have signed him around that time, but he wasn't fully done. He wasn't.
He
Because
was
remember, he wasn't fully fit.
yeah, he wasn't playing, and
Yeah.
maybe it was they didn't add him on to
No,
the.
the squad roster for
Oh
the
nope, it was the next year. We tried. That's right. We tried to sign him in 22,
yeah, it
but
was that
couldn't get it
next.
across the line, and then we signed him the next year. Okay.
Yeah, it was that
That's
next season, because he wasn't fully fit either, if I
right.
remember correctly. It
We
took him.
tried playing him as a winger, and he really struggled with the pace of the
Yeah,
fullbacks we have in the league.
took him a while to get fit. So, yeah, we didn't sign Ojeda until the following season after
Yeah,
that. So, but Ojeda, what a player he's been. Um, I had my doubts, but he shut me up like
yeah.
every other player.
You did. You believe me on Marco after you saw him in the
Oh,
friendly.
he was the only
You just
player
see
around.
you could see his class and
He
the
was
way he
quality. He
carried
was
the ball.
quality. Yeah, quality.
Class quality, potato.
Class is what you gain when you're done.
True, but I mean, we have pieces where they're going into the season. I mean, like I said the other day, by the time this show airs, I'll have already recorded the show with the Columbus Crew podcast. But I mean, I saw a little bit of a clip of them interviewing one of the guys from Montreal, one of the podcasters from Montreal, and he, they said best case, worst case. I mean, I could see this be a team that sneaks into the top four if Poppy changes and everything clicks and everything goes right. I don't really see us being able, with that lack of a third DP and third, I'll use Luke's word, quality attacker. Not that Duncan doesn't have quality, just somebody with the pedigree
Yeah,
of
somebody who can. Duncan Maguire has quality. He definitely has quality. I've seen it.
hmm
He can do stuff that is is instinctual, something that is instinct, natural to it. So yeah, I think Maguire does have quality. I think every single footballer has quality at some
yeah,
point in their career, but it's
but
just
just that
how
next step,
it's
that next step up.
it's that next step, that class you're talking about.
Yeah,
Um, I think Maguire is he's a bit up and down. He's a bit volatile with volatile in the sense of, yeah, he's struggling, but he can still produce those moments of brilliance that still get you excited. But he's not producing them as much as you hope.
yeah,
He's there. He's always there, and that is the thing with Maguire, is like players like Walker Zimmerman and players like that who you're going up against him. You can never keep your eye off him, because even if you give him an ounce of room or an ounce of time, he'll punish you, and that's the type of player he is.
hmm
That even on his worst day, he could get a goal, but sometimes he can fall out of form and whatever. And I feel like with the Muriel thing, he it probably didn't help him a lot, because as much as it should have, because he wanted probably a guy who can help him, and that guy was not there for anything else but whatever. So
but
it kind of probably let him down, and it probably rubbed off on him a bit about like, wow, if this player can do this, because strikers do that. Young strikers do that. Young strikers look at experienced strikers and think, what do? I want to be like you. He looked at
And
him.
we know he's a good guy. I mean, we talked a little bit after the Open Cup match in Tampa. Luke and I drove to that, and after the match, we stayed outside to see some of the players. Um, Luke surprised a couple of them by mutual friends they have and such. But Luke and I had a good conversation. Really put Luke on the spot and probably embarrassed him a little bit in front of Duncan. But
Yeah, definitely. I was like, oh no.
but had a good and I even I ribbed Duncan because Duncan went to Creighton. I'm a Xavier University fan. They both play basketball in the Big East, and I pull for Xavier. That's my college basketball team. I don't really pay attention to never paid attention to the NBA. I always found it kind of boring for whatever reason. But kind of ribbed him on that a little bit. And he gave it back to me, and Luke ribbed him a little bit about his transfer not going through, and Duncan gave us. I'll leave it out. Won't say exactly what he said, but I feel gave us a very honest answer. It almost seemed like Duncan talking to Duncan with that. It's like we had known him for a time. It was almost like we already were acquaintances with him the way he interacted with us, which I thought was pretty cool. But I feel like last year had to be extremely irritating to him too, because he's like, I did all this, 2 years ago. You guys, try to do right by me by letting me go on loan to potentially, Luke, don't roll your eyes too hard, a better club than here. Or at least open up more potential for his future than here.
Yeah.
And you bring in somebody, and he doesn't produce all but a couple matches a year. But I'm sitting here and I kill myself every single match, and I'm not getting rewarded for it by getting the minutes I feel I should. And I mean, every athlete has that feeling to a certain extent, but I really feel like, especially with Duncan last year, he had a very strong case for that. So I'm hoping he comes out, with that fire this year, and really gets off to a strong start, because this team, we have to get off to a strong start, and
To
then
get the crowd back on their side,
yeah,
because the crowd is like, I've never seen the crowd like this before. It's not all sunshine, right, and rainbows at the moment. It's all like
some people still try to make it that,
some people
unnamed,
still try,
but
yeah, some people try to make it that, and like the happy clappers, as David says in the but
whole tailgate champion.
the cornhole, yeah. But it's worrying, and I've not felt this atmosphere for a while, and I feel like he is genuinely in the hot seat. And if he doesn't sort it out in 3 games, you are gone.
Yeah,
You are.
I mean, going from where we were, because obviously you were kind of on the sideline. You didn't have the, you know, face in front of the Orlando City community like you do now.
That's always been me, though. I've
But
always kind of been.
I'm saying, back in 23 when everything happened with the Poppy in, Poppy out, when that really,
Yeah,
you know, was at its strongest. And every year, 24 it popped up. Last year it popped up a little bit. Um, you know, 23 it was really volatile. I forget where I was going with that, but it was really volatile, and it's just one of those that, oh, that's what I was going with. That's right. Going from that to where, I really feel like in 23 it was probably 30 wanted him out, 30% was done with it, 70% was done with it. To now, I'm not even going to give it a percentage because it's hard to say, because I try to stay out of it now. It's a waste of energy to me. For the most part, at least getting involved on social media with it. But I really feel like that the majority of the fan base, would lean more Poppy out than Poppy in at this point.
Yeah.
And we said it last week with David G, or maybe I know we said it with David G, and in the main show before, during, and after Fabian was on. I was surprised that they kept him on through this offseason. And I mean, the only reason I think they kept him on was because he still had 2 years out, and Ricardo was told by people above him, ownership, that he couldn't buy him out.
Yeah.
You look at everything that happened at the end of the year with the way we faltered after the loss in Miami, and then that carried over to the league and into the playoffs. I mean, the last month and a half of the season was dreadfully. I mean, it was legitimately painful. I can officially say, for the first time ever attending matches, I dreaded stepping foot in that stadium because I knew the outcome. Luke and I talked about it last year, especially at the end of the year. We knew the outcome before stepping in. We knew exactly how the match was going to go. We were going to score a goal, maybe two, sit back. The other team was going to come back, tie it up, or hit a late winner. Happened in a Vancouver match. We just got out coached in the Nashville match. Both Nashville matches all three Nashville matches last year, actually. And I never want to have that feeling again. And the coaching staff can say all they want that, we want to be more pragmatic, or whatever verbiage you want to use for being the aggressors, in the game, in the match. But if it's the players' fault, then those players shouldn't, in my opinion, be on the pitch.
Shouldn't be there. If it's the players' fault, then the players shouldn't be on the pitch. And if it's the manager's fault, the manager shouldn't be blaming the players for the issue.
Which happened, which he didn't specifically blame them, but he said we need to be more pragmatic, which is offing the blame off himself. And it has to fall somewhere. And where does it fall when the manager falls?
It doesn't fall on the general. It doesn't fall on the director of football or the general manager. It falls on the players. That's where it falls.
Players or the manager. Yeah, it falls down, not up.
So he's just he needs to probably. I'm not expecting him to be anything new. Nothing new.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to be. When we've tried new things, we look at the beginning of the season last year, we scored a decent, we scored well, but we also did a pretty bad job of scoring.
He doesn't like leaking goals. He doesn't like having like 2 or 3 in the back of the net. But I'm like, I'd rather have 2 or 3 in the back of the net and score 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
Because at least, it might be entertaining. It might be, nerve-wracking football, but bloody hell, you're getting entertainment.
Yeah.
You're winning games, so why not?
I mean, for instance, I mean, it's a little bit different than what you're saying, but there's 2 matches, thinking back over the years, outside of the Miami match last year, because that's different, but still, we put 4 in against them.
Yeah.
There's 2 matches I strictly go to over the last several years, since doing this podcast, since I started really going to matches again and having season tickets and such. And both of them, ironically, are in 2023. I think it was, yeah. The Toronto match on July 4th, where we won 5-1 or whatever it was. And then the Columbus match, where we came back from being down 2 goals twice to win it, at the death with Ramiro having that brace.
Yeah.
And specifically that Columbus match, I hate to say it, but I feel like the players, you keep talking about how the Brazilians go off script. I feel like the players went off script a little bit in
Yeah.
that match. I mean, yes, two of the goals were from free kicks, but you still had to be in the in the positions to win the free kick in a dangerous area. But with that being said, trying to be a little more on a positive note, because we obviously truly think that the season's not going to go well, at least at the beginning for us. That you know, unfortunately, Poppy's days are numbered. And I say it that way because,
It is.
well, I say unfortunately because that means the team's doing bad. That means we're not where we should be on the table in the top. To me, we should always be minimum top 5 or 6.
I
That's
always want to put a disclaimer, and none of us want anyone to lose their job. Nobody does. Like, I do not want Pereira to lose his job. I know it might sound like it, but like, if he keeps on playing the non-attractive, the unattractive football that he's playing, and he keeps on getting the results that I think he's going to get, and we just know what's going to happen, then they have no choice. There is no choice.
hmm
So we're not speaking from a point of like, yes, we can't wait till he's sacked. Like, thank everything for this. It's not like that. It's the fact that people are frustrated. We are frustrated. I am frustrated over the way we are playing, and this is what happens when results don't go your way, style of play gets ugly, and lackluster performances are start seeping into your team. That's what happens. I just want to put that out there.
yeah. And I mean, but yeah. With that being said, let's go on the flip side of what we've been saying, and what obviously winning matches is the simplest answer. But what really has to change for him to keep his job? What do we have to do? We talked last week about a macro outlook versus micro outlook, and that micro outlook of things. What really has to change with the club with Poppy that gets him to keep his job? And what do you think? You know, what do you think the breaking point? We kind of touched it on the show. Kind of if we lose both the first two matches. But let's say we split the matches. We win one, we lose one. I don't care because I am honestly very nervous about this Miami match coming up in 3 weeks. 2 weeks, whatever it is, 2.5 weeks. Um, what do you think? You know, has to happen. On paper for Poppy to keep his job, other than just winning matches. And if
Should
you
we
need to think about it, I'll go ahead and go. And
Yeah, go.
the biggest thing for me is we have to have possession in our attacking third. The possession has to stop. Our main possession, and I can't find the graph. I saw it once and couldn't find it again. It was a heat map of where the ball was when we had possession mainly, and it was always right around the midfield line and a little bit in our defensive half. That was the heat map of where our possession was. It needs to be, in my opinion, 20 to 40 yards further up the pitch in our attacking end. Our midfielders really have our midfield. In my opinion, the way the game was taught to me and the way I've understood it throughout the years is the ball should mainly be on the foot of our midfielders, not of our center backs. And I think that is the big. You look at what Miami does so well. They keep that ball in the attacking end. When they're really humming, they keep that ball in the attacking end and are just poking and prodding. Players are moving without the ball. Stuff, all of that stuff that I talk about basically on a weekly basis. That is the biggest thing I think that needs to change is where we have possession and where and whose foot the ball is on when we have possession.
Yeah. Uh, I agree. I think the main thing I want to just you have to see is an identity. Is an identity, and when I mean identity for people that don't know, is like is people look around the league and they say, "Oh, they're playing that Orlando City style of play, where they're like doing all sorts," and we haven't got that yet. So right now, our identity is ugly. It's oh, that's that Orlando City team that when they score, they drop back, and we need a new identity to the team, something new. And I feel like with these Brazilian players, I'm a bit more excited because these Brazilian players have an identity in their own style of play that's more exciting, that's more, gets you off your seat. So I feel like that we need an identity switch and like something to just get that to the point where it's like this is the new Orlando City, the team that's feared because of this, and that, like X, Y, and Z, instead of the other reasons and the old Orlando. So yeah, I feel like that's mainly a reason why.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like that our the way to beat us is just super simple.
Yeah,
It's honestly twofold. You just hog put. It's you can the fact that you can beat us two polar opposite ways is astounding to me.
yeah.
And
I feel like that you're right, and there's too many ways to beat us.
yeah, I mean the two most simple ways to beat us is you look at what um, Montreal did last year to us. They played a low block and tried to beat us on the counter,
Yeah,
and
or
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 what Nashville and Columbus did to us last year, and that's hold possession of the ball and make us chase shadows.
and you're forgetting the third one, which is the main one. Wait for Orlando to score and watch them sit back.
Yeah.
That is the main one, where the teams are like, well, if they score, then they're going to sit back eventually, so we could possibly get a goal, maybe nick another.
Hmm.
Maybe get another.
Yeah, that's what Montreal did
Yeah, that's what
as
Montreal
well.
did, and it's um, yeah,
The fact that a Greg Berhalter coach team can look like a team that knows what they're doing on the attack, which they did against us both times last year, is troubling to me.
it's very troubling. We're making average managers look great, and we're making poor managers look average.
Yep. And to go with what you keep saying about the Brazilian, Brazilians and and what we both have said about the Brazilian style of play. If you remember a couple of years ago, I believe it was Flamengo, which is who I believe Iago played for.
Yeah. Iago played for them.
But they played Manchester City in the Club World Cup final before they redid the format.
Yeah,
And the fact that they were highlights of and Flamengo got crushed. Don't get me wrong; they got beat 4-1, 5-1, something like that. Man City pretty much dominated the game. But there were highlights that came out of that of Flamengo beating the Pep Guardiola press, which for those that don't know is a borderline genius system. Whether you agree with his coaching style or not, what the detail he puts in his press is pretty astounding. If you haven't read, I forget the book's name, but read that book. It's astounding. Um, and they were making Man City look silly, chasing shadows. The that's what the Brazilian style is. Everybody thinks of a Brazilian player. They think of the flashy, you know, flashy moves with the ball on their foot and stuff like that. That's part of it. But the biggest thing is how they move the ball. Like you watch if you watch back when Pele was playing, you can find those videos, videos of the matches on YouTube, and how they move, how they pass the ball. It was very little 1v1 situations until they got to the final third.
It was free flowing.
Yeah.
Fluid. It was a style. That is where probably style of play came from. Is originated from is that was a style. Like it had a swagger about it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, this is the way we are gonna play, and nobody plays like us. So that's like the main thing about it is like that's the swagger, that's the style that people play with.
And I'm shocked you said the one thing Poppy needs to do to keep his job is kick towards the supporter section in the second
I'm
half.
trying not to
I
say it.
thought that was
I'm trying
coming.
not to say it. I'm trying not to say it. But you're right. He needs to kick towards the ball in the second half. I'm surprised I didn't mention that during the podcast. At least,
Yeah.
probably not. That's probably you lot probably have a bingo card.
That was not on my picks for on DraftKings tonight to the under hit on that, which almost never happens.
Yeah. So
You got Prawn and Cocktail Brigade in there, but you didn't get that one in there.
kicking towards the wall. In the second half. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll see what Saturday brings. In the friendly.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just want to see a little bit of a progression towards playing a style of the game that leads to more productive, threatening possession, and not this. Oh, we got it stuck in the corner. Circle it back to the center back. Center backs knock it around a little bit. Oh, we got it stuck in the other corner, and then we put a prayer of a cross in just to try something.
Sideways and backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that I want to see us stop doing.
Yeah. Just
Other teams, you have to make adjustments. I'm not saying you don't, but it shouldn't be from the first kick. Other teams are dictating where we have our possession. It should be the other way around.
Yeah.
Because we are not that, even this year with the roster we have, we are not less skilled than 50% of the league. And I feel like nearly every match last year, opposing teams dictated how we played. Take out take out the last two games in the League's Cup group stage and the quarterfinal of the League's Cup. I feel like every other team, dictated how we play, especially after League's Cup was over, especially after we lost to Miami in League's Cup.
Yeah, we conform to people's style of play, and then we just go off of that. It's like we almost say, "Well, let's see how they play, and then we'll play how we play." And I'm like, "No, you're playing at home. We play how we want to play, and they hopefully, adjust to us." But it doesn't seem that way.
Mm-hmm.
It seems the other way.
Well, it should be if they don't adjust to us, we're
That's
not
why
going
we're
to
so successful away from home.
Yeah. It's almost and to what you're saying, it shouldn't be up. They're not adjusting to us. We give up 2 goals because we have to adjust to them. It should be they don't adjust to us. We knock 2 or 3 in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's just it's a mentality. We talked about it last year. We haven't really talked about it yet this year. Fabian, brought it up when he was on last week. And if you guys haven't caught that interview, it's the first 30 minutes of our show last week, of the main show last week. Be sure to catch that. Fabian's a great writer. Has a lot of inside information and opened himself up to he's touring the country, virtually touring the country, and he's trying to do a podcast for every major league soccer team in preparation for the city. for the city, for the league. Um, and really had some, some interesting takes, and we talked to him for 5 minutes before the show started. Just, hey, we're gonna get on. You're gonna get, we're gonna do the intro, introduce you. You'll introduce yourself. We'll ask you a couple questions, and you can be on your way, type of deal. And that's what happened. And you know, gave us an outside perspective that, ironically, unintentionally, met what our perspective of this season is.
Yeah.
So if you guys that are watching this or listening to this haven't been able to catch that, it's the last week's episode, the episode that released on the second, and it's just the first 30 minutes, so it's not, you could listen to it on your drive to work or something. Not going to take up, hour and a half of your time. But yeah, hope to see. I don't think we have. You have anything else to add, Luke?
I think that's it. I think there's only a bit to say until the season starts.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot more to talk about with the preseason. Preseason friendly, we can go into a lot more detail on that because, of course, I know you're going. I probably can't make it, so we'll go into more detail on that. Hopefully, I can watch it.
I don't think there'll be anywhere to watch it, honestly.
Okay, so it's going to be probably.
I'll give you a rundown on some.
Yeah.
But the other thing I wanted to go a little more in depth in, which we went pretty in depth in on the show, is on the main show, is the kit that got leaked today.
Oh yeah, awful.
I mean, Luke called me, interrupted my dinner, and proceeded to talk to me for 20 minutes, and just got done with a 40-minute phone conversation with his father, ranting about it. So I know he has more to say. He didn't just have the 5 or 10 minutes from the main show that we talked about it.
Yes. So the away kit, I do not know what they were thinking on this. I want to know everyone's perspective on the away kit. Put them in the comments. Put them in the replies on Twitter, and put them everywhere. I want to know people's away kit. In my opinion, it's the worst away kit we have ever had.
And before you continue, because this will release after the official release tomorrow, we're recording this on Monday.
So basically, for context, the kit by is don't quote me on this, footyheadlines.com, who most of the time get, I would say most of the time, get the away kit right, or the leaked kit right in this context. Normally get it right when it comes to the color and the concept and whatever. No, I do not know the actual color of the kit. It looks yellow, and it will probably be gold.
I'm thinking the other way, because it's an away kit, so it has to be a lighter color. So I'm thinking it might be, because like I said on the main show, from what I remember on when the old away kit, I call it the heritage kit.
Yeah.
The red and kind of white one released. Some of the leaks, especially the one from EA, because if you remember, EA put it on the game before it was supposed to be out.
Yeah.
One on EA especially looked more main color purple than it actually is.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the leak, the rendering that they did or got of it, is a brighter yellow than it actually is. Because if it's a lighter yellow, almost like a dark pastel yellow, I don't think that'd be terribly bad for an away kit.
No, but in my opinion, it just goes away from what this club's about. I get we have yellow in our thing, whatever, like
Gold.
that, but gold. We have gold in our kit. I just feel like it's a bit more rogue, but it's rogue in the wrong way. Like, so many years, the fans have been asking for the away kit to be black, or like a darker color, or like a purple and black kit.
The third kit, anyway, yeah.
People have been asking for that for years, and for some reason, the club has decided to do this rogue gold kit, and it's just out of nowhere. And I don't feel like it shares the same club's identity that they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of away from that. Now I don't know what with the introduction of third kits. My idea of the third kit, I've spoke to John about this, is it's going to be red.
That's the rumor anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
yeah.
general rumor.
Is I have a theory. So like we had the throwback kit with the white kit. So for the third kit, I feel like it's going to be another throwback kit, probably with a similar style to like the
2020
to the honor thy history kit. I think
heritage kit, whatever you want
yeah,
to call it.
the honor thy history kit, um where it's like the same badge, but it's in the red format that we used to have in the USL as well. So I would kind of like that. I was like, again, it's still kind of that would be a good third kit, but this away kit's kind of a rogue one where I'm thinking, where are they going with this? Where the idea is, and how can I connect this to Orlando City? And I don't see it. I
You know,
don't.
like my idea when I first saw it is it could be a yellow kit, but have like, and we don't know what the back is. It was just a front view.
Yeah,
But maybe have white outline of a lion,
yeah,
on the front or even on the back or something, or have it be a white kit and have it be a yellow with a lion on it, which Adidas never gets that creative for the MLS. But I mean, to me, the biggest thing is that the league is sponsored by Adidas with every club.
yeah,
I wish that we could go with, a niche brand like a Jersey Bird because they're the kits they do. I love their kits. They're incredible. I don't know if you've heard of them or not, Luke. Jersey Bird.
maybe.
I learned about them because they bought a team in Nigeria
Yeah,
that are in the fifth division, I believe, and sponsor their jerseys and everything. So that's how I heard from them. But then I saw their different designs, and they're not like outlandish, like crazy. They're just nice, different than what
yeah, they're just
your
different.
Nike, Adidas, Puma generally bring out. But that opens a whole nother can of worms because of Messi and Beckham when they came here.
Yeah,
All that's but I think that's something that needs to happen in a league relatively soon as clubs can, which I know they're franchises, but
start taking control.
this sport is different. Keep the franchise model, whatever. But this sport is different than one thing about this sport is it celebrates the individual a lot, as we see with the Messi versus Ronaldo, which is on steroids times 1,000. But celebrates the individual brilliance of each player, each club, each community. And I really feel like having Adidas, it kind of gets away from that.
Yeah,
But I know the league wants to keep a cut of the jerseys, which is why they do it that way.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean the jersey itself, I was not expecting it to be all yellow or all gold or whatever it is. Um, I was expecting it to be something kind of a reverse of the one we had. What was that? 21, 20 and 21. The white. It was just like the standard white and purple, real
yeah,
boring.
yeah.
I kind of expected it to be almost still be white, but I almost expected the lettering to be yellow outlined in purple, if that makes sense. Just be a clean kit.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Just,
I also like that kit. That's
yeah,
another kit
it was clean.
yeah, it was a clean kit.
Um, that's kind of what I was hoping for with something like that. And then that abomination comes out, earlier on Monday, earlier tonight, and it was just it was jarring for me.
I'm just thinking, what were they thinking?
And to me, the MLS, I know there's copyrights and stuff, and they've done stuff with Marvel in the past, so it would kind of be flipping the script. But to me, for us, and this is my my nerdiness kicking in, they're missing a iconic villain that they could make, give us a kit for, even a warm up kit, the Joker.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Can do anything.
Not a generic Captain America one that half the teams across the league also got.
Yeah.
Which but kind of also goes into the kit that you were talking about, the black and purple kit. That'd be. I mean, I think when I think black and purple, I think literally a blacked out kit with purple outlines.
That's don't
You
talk
know,
about it. It's making me upset. That's all I want. That's all I want in life is that kit. Is that hard to ask? Is that hard to ask for?
I guess you got to do what people did with the pink Alessi kit and just go day whatever of asking Orlando City to have a black and purple kit.
I'm not doing that.
I know that's not you to do.
People should just do that. People should do the right thing. If a club representative is watching this, do the right thing. Please, if you have the idea of
We're giving you the just like we do on the main show, which with like we did with OCB and the free tickets for the opener and the free OCB tickets for season ticket holders and different thing ideas that we've given the club that weirdly a week or two after we say something on the show it magically shows up and the club's doing it. This is your idea what Luke's about to say.
I'll mock up the kit. I'll mock it up. I don't care. Please, just give us the kit that we all want, like the black kit with purple trim. Like that is perfect for everyone. Like it's been like what 11, 12 years now. Just give it to us because that's all we need. So, yeah. If you can do that, that would be great. And I know a lot of people want that kit. I know a ton of people. It's been the kit that's been like, why? The big question,
Mm.
why? And
If you haven't, if you guys pay close attention, Luke's main color is black in shirts. By the way, I don't think I've ever seen him wear another color than black or white.
yeah,
So I think he wore a white shirt last Sunday to my son's birthday party.
I did wear a white shirt. You're right. And I do wear this kit every once in a while, which is a really nice kit. But yeah, I'm ready.
But it's like the nice thing about the honor the history kit, the heritage kit, whatever you want to call it, is it was unique.
Yeah, I really liked it. I think the badge was sick.
Oh yeah, the reimagined badge.
They could have done so much with that badge, and they didn't. They didn't do enough.
That's the biggest thing that irritated me.
Could have done that.
So a couple years ago, my car got stolen. We found it, got returned to us, but nothing that was in it was in the car anymore. It was all taken out and sold or thrown away or something. But they had that purple jacket, the zip up hoodie
Yeah,
that had the red or it was kind of orange accents to it and had that badge, the reimagined badge on it. And then because I wear a bigger size, they were sold out of it by that time. And it was a year. No, that was the year that they had it, but they were already sold out of it.
oh, give me the reversible jackets again.
See, I'm not a big fan of those.
I liked it. I have one. It was
And we need to decide. You guys that watch know I like to antagonize the supporter groups. We need to figure out what our official winter jacket will be. Whether we're going with North Face or one of the other brands to kind of look all uniform.
yeah. I don't know. I'm getting I have a ton of North Face jackets around, so I'll be all right.
Yeah, I don't because we live in Florida.
I've lived.
I don't get an annual trip to England to wear them, and I don't go up north during the winter either.
And my
So
Blackpool kit, and my Blackpool jacket might be a good one because that one's quite nice.
there you go.
And it's kind of low key too, so it's like not very obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I
And
can't wait.
eventually, probably at some point, maybe during the World Cup break, or if for one of the international breaks that we have off before the World Cup, because I think there's one remaining before the World Cup. Is that right? In like
Yeah,
March. Luke and I'll dive into supporter groups and stuff, and not criticizing them necessarily, but you know our idea of just kind of
our perspective and ideologies on
there you
how a supporters group should be run, how they're run, and the future of where their existence belongs in the relative realm of Major League Soccer.
go. Mm-hmm.
I hope I summed that up perfectly.
Yeah, no, thank you. You can tell who's the political science major and who's the one that has a business degree from a for-profit school. But that's the show for tonight, everybody. Like I said, every other show. If you have any ideas, if you want to join us, like David G did last week, you don't have to already have a presence. You can just you can be Joe Schmo from Poinciana that just loves this club and wants to talk Orlando City for an hour or two on
And
Monday
you
night.
don't have to stay on for the whole time.
Yeah,
Don't feel obligated. If you want to leave, if you want to say, "Oh, I only want to be on for half an hour, but I want to give my perspective,"
yeah.
and that's
If you
perfect.
feel like if Poppy is let go, if you want to give your 2 cents on why he shouldn't have been let go, we would love to hear it and love to have a conversation about it. We're not going to degrade you for having an opinion, or make fun of you or anything.
I
But
might. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Luke,
I'm not
yeah, Luke would make fun of you, but do it in a fun,
sarcastic
a
in a
sarcastic
sarcastic
manner,
manner.
just like we make fun of each other. Like I just made fun of myself for being stupid. But no, so this, like I said on the main show, this show's for you guys, the fans. We just felt like that, we could offer more by having a supplemental episode. Like I said on the main show, keep an eye out on Friday. I have to figure out how to figure out editing on TikTok, which I've never really done, by Friday afternoon, to do the pre-match, to do the match preview. But that will be released in some form on Friday. I can promise you that. If you have any suggestions, even for the main show, or want to join us for a little bit on the main show, feel free to message us on um, any of our platforms. If it is on X, I will say, because that's the one that I mainly run. Is I mainly run X and TikTok. If you message us on X, since X changed their messaging format, post make a comment and include us on it in one of our posts or shows saying you left us a DM, because then I have to go searching for it and hidden messages or message requests or spam messages. It goes to, there's 3 different places somebody that we don't follow the message could go to. That happened with the guys from the Columbus podcast. And I didn't see it, and they messaged me a week ago, and I just responded yesterday. So, try to avoid that. If you do send us a message and it's a couple of days, just leave us a comment and let us know you sent us to check our DMs. I try to check them. I know now to check all three spots. I'll try to check them better. Um, but yeah, let's get this season underway. It's been a long off season. We're not used to having basically 3 full months off. Last 2 off seasons, 3 off seasons have been pretty short off seasons for us with the postseason runs and stuff. And then this one seems like it.
I know in February seemed like it slowed down,
Yeah,
so it doesn't seem like we're feeling any closer, but we are getting closer. So.
Yeah. we're less than 12 days now.
I know.
So, anything to close us out, Luke?
Win.
Thoughts?
No, play it. No, it's just an unpredictable season, so we just gotta wait. We gotta wait and see.
Yep. Very anticipatory season, too.
No point of being pessimistic or optimistic at the moment because you just genuinely don't know what we're gonna see. So
Luke, you're British and I'm Irish. It's in our blood to be pessimistic.
but we'll do that when the first game kicks off, and then I'll start complaining again.
Oh, I plan on doing it after the friendly.
Oh, the friendly. I'm that pessimistic. I'm not even showing up.
Yeah. Well, you got a long drive. Like I said on the main show, Luke goes to school down in South Florida, and he's coming back for the regular season matches. Just doesn't make a lot of sense to come back for a friendly that doesn't really matter.
I know.
So, but yeah, thank you for everybody that'll watch this and listen to this. We greatly appreciate the support. It seems like you guys are enjoying the content, and like I said before, if you guys have any suggestions or want to see us do something a little different, or heck, even want a copy of the formations I put up so you can see them if you're listening, let us know, and I'll happily send those over to you guys. It's nothing that hard that I did. So, but for Luke and I, for the guys on the main show, hopefully see you guys on some of you guys out there on Saturday. If not, see you on the next Saturday at the home opener. As always, Vamos Orlando.